Hello guys, I'm Michael Merlin, a very good friend of Martin Riemann, who I've known that for about 3 years. And today he asked me to come and essentially be a guest in his video, which is actually a great honor for myself. So thank you for watching this.
Hi guys, this is Martin Riemann, the host, and as you just seen, a new face on my YouTube channel, but a very smart guy, a scientist, a lecturer of the University of Edinburgh, and also a researcher. So a great honor to have him here in my office and helping me with building the brand concept. And actually, after today's session, there's a few conclusions that we've drawn. And actually, I've got a prototype here that I'm gonna show you, and this is not great. This is not, you know, perfect. This is still in the process. This is a prototype. So, Michael, if you can hold that, I just wanna show it. I don't know how visible it will be for the people, but we're testing the studio, we're testing the mics, we're testing the setup. So it's all, you know, documentation, and then it's all you know, here for you. And this is the elevating the profile model. That's how we called it. And what we're gonna do now in this video is that I'd like to have Michael help me with the concept. You know, draw it on the board and explain it from the core. Because what we've done today in this 3-hour session, we just sat down, and he as a scientist with his background in you know, in creating models and then reading them, and as someone with real university experience. So you guys see that this is basically supported by people who are with the science and they really know what we're talking about. So Michael, I'm just gonna give you the space here. Let's start with the first building block. Yeah, I think that's how we call them. This is still a prototype, so.
So one of the points which I really think Martin has nailed is nailing essentially in his book and in his general career and direction, is that concept of personal branding, which definitely, in my opinion, has a very interesting aspect that everyone should be paying attention to, starting with myself, essentially.
Especially people in IT, where they really need that.
And one of throughout our discussion today, we essentially came up with the concept of, well, branding is at the centerpiece, but if we just focus on the branding and adding some aspect to it in order to improve it, we just stayed on a two-dimensional, whatever, or on a single plane, and it's only going to make the branding bigger, but without elevating it, and that's the point. And one of the aspects we essentially build upon is to create building blocks, all these additional skills that Martin is talking about in his book. Highly recommend when it will be released. It's actually a nice read.
Thank you for promoting, Michael. Actually, this guy has read the introduction chapter, so and helping me with the concept of how to call it, Michael. I would say having components and putting them into this pyramid, or
yeah. So that's the thing. At first, Martin originally came to me and said, "Oh, I know something. This is brand or branding." And that branding needs additional aspects, which is essentially detailing in his books in the different chapters, like skills or the health or the network, or all these kind of aspects. But it looked all very like unidimensional, and there was something where it's like, but how is that supporting the brand? So after a lot of deliberation this morning, especially before lunch, it became very clear that as much as all those aspects are very important, they need to essentially come back to the brand and make it not only bigger but more visible. That's the whole point about that. And that's how essentially we like, oh, but we just want to elevate the brand. And from that concept, it just became very clear that what Martin is essentially advocating in his book is like the brand is something which just comes at the top of a pyramid or big construction where everything is essentially supporting it. Well, as Martin said, I'm a scientist, so that my drawing skills are not the best asset.
Well, we're gonna have a graphic designer to come up with a real.
much
in the book, you guys gonna have a very nice professional, I would say, graphic or picture representation of what we're I would say building, what we're figuring out, because we've got the concept. I know what's gonna be in there, what components for people in IT, such as software developers, designers, and then everyone else working in the field of IT. But to have someone structured, someone who is a scientist, who is in the laboratory with people who are actually doing research, PhDs, and they're gonna break it down and ask me questions, So basically, Michael's been on my ass since this morning on Sunday, and then asking questions, okay, why did you do this? Why did you do that? So going really into the details and creating the model. So this really makes sense, and we figure out we're gonna create elevating the profile model, right?
Exactly.
And that's why elevating. If you could expand on that, Michael, why?
But a lot of aspects that Martin is trying to explain in his book is how brand can be essentially supported by a lot of additional skills and aspects that especially an IT programmer should develop. And at some point in the discussion, the verb elevating just came up, and that's the key, and support is also the key. So all these different aspects should essentially just build together in order to start with a brand which is almost at the level 0 and just elevate it into at the top of the pyramid. If that could become your next wonder of the world, then that would be amazing. But Martin has essentially is doing the bulk of the work on that. I'm essentially the one trying to help him through coffee chats. It's always particularly interesting to discuss with him. If you have the occasion, just pop by and just say hi to him. I'm sure he will appreciate it a lot.
Well, you remember that there's 10 million people in London. If someone, imagine that everyone comes to the office. Hey man, I'll be glad. I'll be glad to actually, if you guys are around in London, then let me know. And then this pyramid. Obviously, this is a prototype, as we said, but there will be more concepts such as social media, emotional intelligence, your technical skills, obviously how you dress, right? This all matters. The way you train, the way you treat your body. So this all, I would say, helps elevating the brand. But the brand is the core, is the necessary. It's something that it's you. Maybe it doesn't equal exactly you, but it's the core value. It's the necessary, that it's something that you, let's say in IT, for me it's obviously digital marketing. It's web apps. It's basically IT field. So that's my core. That's what I'm all about, and my brand therefore is built for that. It's built for people working in IT, and your brand will be similar, right? For a person working in IT will be similar, but this is the core, this is the spine of your brand, and this is one block that you have already, and it's you, and we're gonna be building on top of that pyramid like that. Obviously a lot nicer. We're gonna have a graphic designer design it, and then there will be components like social media, networking here, and then your technical skills, the way you dress, and then and I'm gonna add a few more. But that's the core. That's the prototype, and that's what you're gonna be building on top of that. Not in, I would say, in one swing of the bat. You're gonna build component by component, right? So there's building blocks that I'm gonna be going through in my book, and this is all gonna be explained. Guys, I wanted to say thank you, Michael. Do you wanna come over here and then also say, I think you're gonna come over, visit me. We're gonna have more session here, and this is just the way to document, right? This is not supposed to be like, oh, perfect video, you know, with the ready model. This is our prototype. But I just want to say thank you, Michael, for your help, and we're just gonna roll it out. I'm really grateful that, you know, people like Michael are helping out and are contributing to the project. So thank you very much for popping by.
It's a pleasure.
And being on the video. So do you wanna say something for goodbye? Next time, there will be next time, of course.
Well, there will be a next time. As I said, as Martin said, I'm essentially working in Edinburgh, so I'm not down to London very often. But when I do, I definitely make a point about visiting Martin, and it's actually a pleasure to see him progressing through the different stages of that book, and very brave of him to essentially show the evolution step by step. And as I said, even though they're not perfect, he's very open about it. So there's loads of to learn out of that man. See you next time, guys.
Thank you. Take care.